What's happening, Brighton? The short answer is a lot. The long answer is this podcast. What's Up Brighton is a show dedicated to the community we all love.
Hosted by Roger Burnett, Eric Meldrum, and Coach Mark Howell, this podcast will feature news, issues, and discussions impacting Livingston County and celebrate the people who make our slice of Michigan go and grow. This is What's Up Brighton. How's it going? Welcome to the What's Up Brighton podcast. This is episode 21.
Let's go.
Our podcast can drink, ladies and gentlemen.
Woo!
Ew.
As evidenced by the drinking going on in the corner from our guest, who we will get to in just a moment. But before that, my name's Roger. As always, welcome to the program. I've got Coach sitting across from me today. What's up, Coach? How's it going?
Up? Good. Feeling good.
Now we got my man Eric Meldrum, as always, sitting over there in the corner.
What's going on, you guys?
Taking care of business. And then we have the queen herself.
Queen.
She's ready to go. So I'm not going to do anything other than just allow this queen to describe herself. Who are you and why are you here? Welcome. Come on, you're come on.
I'm still getting past the bikini comment.
I know. Now we've got to splice in. We've got to splice in that one
Yeah, we'll
because
bring that in.
Jen doesn't think I'm telling the truth right now. But for sure, there was an episode
There was
where
something. I don't know.
It was your one word. Oh, so Jen Schulte, welcome to the program.
I don't know.
Thanks,
Definitely not
Roger.
my one word.
So, what brings you by? What's going on with you? What's life like?
Well, what brings me by is I went to a Tigers game a few weeks
Yes,
ago
I
with
knew it.
these two
Perfect.
and got talked into coming on this podcast.
Perfect.
Yes.
We didn't have to twist your arm too hard.
I knew.
Yes.
I knew there was an ulterior motive behind how this all worked.
Yes.
But as we said, we've been really interested in trying to attract local business owners to that seat to participate with us and tell all of you a little bit about all of them. And fortunately, I don't know if alcohol was involved. Sounds like there was a lot of fun to be had.
We
And
got a few
next thing you
stories
know,
for today.
I plead the fifth.
We got a few stories.
we have Jen. So, Jen, would you like to tell us about your business?
Sure, Roger. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So my name is Jen Schulte. Obviously, I'm from Trusted Heating and Cooling. I'm the president and co-owner of the business. And we're a local heating and cooling company based out of Pinckney. We serve all of Livingston County, Washtenaw County, Oakland, Genesee, and surrounding counties as well. Primarily residential. We do some light commercial as well. And we love to help everyone with their heating, cooling, water heating, generator needs.
Awesome.
Yeah,
And you've also grown up here and you lived in
Yes.
Livingston County your whole entire life, right?
that's correct. Yeah, my parents bought their house here in 1975.
Mm.
And
You're like an OG.
OG. When
of
I
this
moved
thing.
in, there was a farm field in my backyard. There was CFA's was the grocery store where CVS was. There was the A&W,
Legit.
the old A&W,
Root beer.
where you could pull in, and they come out with the tray on your window. It was really a small town back then. And it still feels that way to me, even though it's, tremendously grown and developed and a really quality place to live.
Where quality
Where
is way of
Quality
life.
is a way of life.
Quality
That's
is a
right.
way of life.
Yes.
We have to throw that one
Yes.
in there.
Oh,
Welcome,
yeah.
welcome,
Of
Brighton.
course.
Where quality is a way of life.
Yes, but I've lived
So-
here my whole life, other than I went to college and lived in East Lansing, of course, and then
Go green.
go white. And right after I got married, I lived in Howell for 10 years. But ever since then, I've been in Brighton, back in Brighton. So most of my life, I've been in this community.
So Brighton, Howell, and you guys lived here all entire life and then started a business
That's right.
here
Mhm.
as well. So cool. And then you and Mark go way back, right?
First grade.
First grade.
Let's
that's
go.
right.
We are OG buds.
Yeah, so that's probably, I've known Mark for 34 years, probably.
That's
What are
crazy.
you, 6 in first
When
grade?
you
Is
when
that
you
right?
verbalize the number, it
Yes.
sounds way
Yes.
worse.
30,
If you do
34
the
years.
math, does that mean we're 40?
Oh my god.
How old are we at?
I'm 42. So facto.
Mark's parents didn't really discuss, the gap between his age and when he graduated. Weird.
Yep. Yep.
We don't need to talk about that.
Yeah. It's all good.
Oh, that's cool. And one of the reasons we wanted to really get some local business owners on was to really talk about like why Brighton, like what is it about this area, why you started your business here? Like you could have started your business anywhere. Obviously you're from here. What were the contributing factors of kind of really planting your flag and like, hey, we want to be part of this community?
Well, I think a huge factor is just, I've lived here almost my whole life and I love this community. I couldn't think of starting a business anywhere else. But I felt like, there's a lot of good heating and cooling companies out there. The competition is fierce in this industry, but I felt like we could build a local community that's focused on hiring local people, providing jobs, providing, a living and a good income, and making a difference in our community too. So one thing with starting the business, it's allowed us to do a lot of charitable giving, give back in our community, do things around this community that are important to us to help other organizations or people in general. So that was a huge part of it. But I love Brighton and I always want to be here.
Your heart's in Brighton, right?
That's right. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I've seen Jen, when I started the page in 2018-ish, I always get fuzzy on the dates of when I started it. Our AC went out and we were looking for recommendations on companies to replace our furnace, AC, and hot water tank because it had never been done before. And we actually reached out into the group, right? Prime example of, just getting local referrals. And this company called Trusted Heating and Cooling kept coming up. And I was like, locally owned, contact Jen. And I was like, locally owned. I think she might have commented on it as well.
Probably 100 times.
Yeah. And I was like,
Call me.
all right, well, let me give them a call. And they came out and they did a fantastic job replacing all of our stuff. Runs great, and more importantly, Jen showed up. And I didn't even know Jen at the moment.
Right.
Like we had just met, I think, for the first time when she came to do my
Your
AC.
install.
Yeah, install.
Yeah.
And she did a great job. She was on site with technicians, making sure everything was smooth. And then fast forward a couple of years later, we start sending our kids to school. They go to kindergarten, first grade, and lo and behold, who's at the school? Well, Jen, right?
Yeah.
So now we have a local connection, and it was just great, and we've kind of been friends ever since.
Yeah.
That moment.
I know. Yeah, it is a small world. It's crazy
Yeah.
because that is how we met. And now we know each other in a whole different way too.
Exactly. Yeah, we would have ended up crossing paths anyways, but we just happened to cross paths earlier.
And after the party bus, you know each other way differently. Yeah.
Those are facts.
Yeah. Facts.
Whole new level of close.
So if you guys want a really good time Tigers game, we got to repeat that.
Agreed.
We'll get some subs.
We'll run it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll run it back.
Yeah.
We'll get
Just
some
a
subs.
bigger party bus.
Yeah. Get a bus.
We're gonna have to next level up. You know.
We'll bring more people. It'll
Yeah.
be great.
So, Jen, how long has Trusted been in business?
Since March of 2018.
So, you went from how many folks were riding the Trusted train when you first opened your doors?
Well, we have an interesting story. I mean, it's
There you
probably not not far off from any other business, but we opened our doors in March. Our first year was obviously a lot of getting things up and running, figuring things out. As a small business owner, you sit in every seat, you do everything, and especially first year. So the first year was obviously slower to the start. In 2019 is when we brought on our first 2 employees. So we brought on 2 guys in 2019. We got a new construction job and just took off from there. So for the most of that year, it was a 2-man crew and myself. We were able to self-fund the business. Alex at the time was still working his 9 to 5. He worked in the commercial sector, so there was no, competition or conflict of interest there. And he retained working and was a weekend warrior, for the business nights and weekend warrior, of course. And we were able to build enough momentum with our 2 employees and myself that at the end of 2019, he quit his 9 to 5 and was able to come on full time with Trusted. So,
awesome.
And then from 2019, obviously 2020 happened. And so about 6 months after he quit his job, we had COVID.
Right.
And
Perfect timing.
that was really scary, but oddly enough, we were able to just navigate through. We were considered essential because of heating. Buildings infrastructure can't go without a furnace in the winter. And so we were able to keep operating, thank God, but still very scary for our employees. The people working during that time, we were doing contactless checkout. Our technicians were, only if there was an outdoor unit, if they didn't have to go inside, which most of the time we do, they weren't. So it was just really tricky things we were navigating and trying to stay in business as a new business in a completely crazy time in our world and economy. But luckily we COVID had the opposite effect for our industry. So everybody was at home for 2 years. And everybody realized how uncomfortable they were at home.
Right?
Yeah. And when you're working in your basement and your furnace sounds like a jet engine, you decide
Is that good? I don't know.
Yeah. So we had, luckily the COVID impact was quite different. We were able to keep going and keep growing through that. So we're very blessed.
So fast forward to 2024, and now you are how large? How many people are we dealing with today?
So now we have a team of 12.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So, as another business owner who has scaled businesses from 2 to 12 people, what are some of the fun things that have happened as you've grown from 2 to 12? Like any challenges finding people, any challenges like retaining? Like how has your talent attraction efforts been in the time that you've sought to continue to grow your team?
Yeah, that's a great question. It was really challenging in the beginning, as a small business, before you can offer benefits and healthcare and 401ks, before you get to that point, it really is hard to attract top talent and people that can stay with you and help you grow. But we were lucky enough and we made the decision to do that, and we were able to offer benefits starting in 2021. So
Very cool.
Ever since then, we offer the same benefits as our competitors, and we're really proud of that for being such a small business. And that's important to us. We want to attract people that are not only good with talent, but are the right fit for our culture. And we want to be able to, have them have a career and a lifestyle that they would at any major corporation as well, without feeling like they're a number, right? So it's still a family feel. It's a small business. So it's nice that we're able to do that. And we've got a great team. We have a core group that's been with us. Of course, staffing changes do happen, but we do have a core group, and it's really nice to feel like we have that core team now as we're in our 6th year in business.
Of those values that you guys rely on, are there any ones that have stood out of, like, when people come, they say, like, we want to be here with you guys because this?
Yeah. So culture is huge for us. I have a corporate background. Alex had a corporate background. And, we were a number. We were just employee 1, 2, 3, 4. And so when we started the small business, we really wanted to, not have that culture. We wanted to have a better culture where people felt that they were contributing, that they were important to the team, And so we established core values that we live by. We hire and fire and make all of our decisions by our core values. And we have 6 of them. They're be committed, go the extra mile, be of service, create value, have good vibes, and have fun. Of course, having fun is a core value. We work.
3
awesome.
neck braces for everyone.
Yeah.
Yes, for everyone.
Hey, if you're gonna have fun, why not?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, I think I want to chime in there because I have maybe a unique perspective on how you guys have built your company too. Because from day one, especially being a new business, so many businesses are so worried about the bottom line and how do we grow and how do we become profitable? How do we pocket that money so we can do all the bigger things in our lives? And when you guys launched the business, you made a commitment early on. I remember you approached me in 2019, like, we want to do some fundraising for Fund to Life and come behind you. And you guys have since then rolled out numerous programs. You're one of Fund to Life's largest donors, and you guys have really built a foundation of generosity through your success and through your ability to grow. And I think, especially in today's landscape and in Livingston County in general, like, that's so important to people. Like, they want to get behind and support businesses that are giving back, that are generous, that are doing the right things, and and kind of just being philanthropic in their efforts and giving back and looking to impact people. And you guys have, even through COVID, even through some trying times, navigating a small business and being a small business owner, you guys have found ways to be creative in your generosity, to continue to support not just Fund to Life, but you guys have, I know, a program called Trusted Cares, where a percentage of all, revenue dollars goes directly to nonprofits of customers choosing. And, and that's something over and above And, you guys choose to do things at a really high level, and that's just a choice of yours. It's not something that you have to do, but it's something that's important to you guys. And I think that's very admirable. And I think that just having that heart and building your business around that, just that want and that need to give back, it sets a great example for your employees. And it also rallies people to want to work there, want to be a part of it, and want to do business with you. So, I mean, from Fun to Life, on behalf of Fun to Life to you,
Mark.
like, thank you. I mean, obviously, I've known you for a long time, but I love and cherish you. And I think that your success is by no accident. It's who you are. It's how you do things, and that matters.
Aw, thanks, Mark.
So Jen, there's this whole purpose base as being a part of people's brands.
Mm-hmm.
I might know a little something about
I
it.
think you do, Roger.
So typically the way it works out is people care or they don't about that.
Right.
So why does it matter to you? Why did you do that? Why did you consciously make that choice? Because you could have chose to say, we don't have to support nonprofits. We don't.
Right.
I mean, that's you. You had to make that choice, and there had to be a reason behind why you made that choice.
Well, I just think that, giving always makes me feel good, financially. And, we had a whirlwind success in those early years, and I felt just a need to give back, It just makes me feel good. I feel like I'm helping. I can't always do that with my time, So financially is the way that feels right for me. And if I can, I donate, I do, and I will. And it's how our organization runs. And you're right, it is an example for our employees, but I really just do it because I feel good doing it, and I want to be doing it.
But at the end of the day, everyone's watching.
Yeah.
And whether you know it or not, the fact that you made that choice affects people. And we would tell you in our research is there's probably a handful of your employees who made the choice to work there because they saw you do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. And it may not be the reason why somebody makes a buying choice. It may not be the reason why somebody makes a choice on where to work until it's the reason.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you don't have something for that person and one of your competitors does, right? So the question becomes, how much does your community respond to that positively? And I would think that your growth is a reflection of the fact that our community responds positively to it. So not to belabor the point, but I just want to make sure that it's apparent that there is a direct correlation between these two things, because in a crowded and noisy and difficult environment, I don't know, heating and cooling, how does someone pick?
Right.
They typically pick two ways: word of mouth, and the one thing that's most important to them. And sometimes it's the cheapest thing. Sometimes it's not. And if it's not, then what is it? Because Jen's got something for you. Right. So,
well, and honestly, there's I stop in your office, 2-3 times a year, maybe max. And sometimes there's new faces. And the greeting I receive, when I walk through, you can tell that those employees feel empowered to, they feel a part of Fun to Life's mission because Trusted is a part of our mission and they give so generously. And they all feel it and are a part of it. And they're just as excited for me to be there as I am to be there, thanking you guys or doing whatever it is that I might be doing. And some of them I've just met for the first time. They're like, oh my gosh, we're so happy to meet you, blah, blah, blah. It's like, how do you know who I am? I'm not sure exactly if that's good or bad. But, and I think that just speaks to, again, it just goes back to your values of I think if anything else, you're empowering your people to be a part of the mission that you guys are embarking on. And that's so powerful. Yeah. It's so powerful.
We do that too. Another thing we do that you just made me think of is, we support fundraisers, right? Golf outings are really common, things like that. And we let our employees go and represent our team. So they love that too. We're donating and they get to have a free game of golf, know?
Oh, darn.
And they
darn,
get to
terrible.
And they get to wear their badass Trusted swag,
Yeah.
which is amongst the best in the industry.
Their logo's sweet.
Because they take advantage of the color in their logos and they're not afraid to pay for it. It's amazing.
Yes.
Always told her, I'm like, good job. You spend all that money on a logo and then you get a one color design. Come on. What did you do there, right?
Yeah, we have 19 colors in our logo.
So I want to give you
Screen
one more.
printings are really expensive.
Super. She's got relationships. She knows what's up. Are you or a loved one struggling with the effects of stroke? The Oxford Center in Brighton, Michigan offers a cutting-edge alternative stroke treatment that can help stroke victims even years after having a stroke. Our approach combines traditional medicine with evidence-based alternative therapies, including hyperbaric oxygen therapy. This advanced treatment involves breathing pure oxygen in a specialized environment that can stimulate the growth of new blood vessels and promote healing in the brain. We also offer physical therapy, speech therapy, and occupational therapy programs to help patients regain their strength, coordination, and ability to communicate. Time is of the essence when it comes to stroke recovery. Contact the Oxford Center today at 248-486-3636 or visit our website at theoxfordcenter.com to learn more about our alternative stroke treatment options, including hyperbaric oxygen therapy. That's 248-486-3636 or visit theoxfordcenter.com. We touched on something that I think you will want to describe in more detail as a way for us to give back to you, as a way to market yourself. Tell people more about what Trusted Cares is all about, and like what are the mechanics of that, and what does that mean? So I'm coming to you, I'm a prospect, I'm about to make a buying decision. What are you layering in there?
So what we offer anybody who does business with us is the opportunity to give back to an organization that's important to them, or one of the organizations that we already support regularly as a company. And we call that our Trusted Cares program. And so all you have to do is, if you do business with us, maintenance, service, repair, install, it doesn't matter how big or small the invoice is, you can come back to our website after the service and click on our Trusted Cares link and just put in your invoice data, the data service, the amount, and pick your organization that you'd like 1% of that invoice to go to.
How sweet is that?
Yeah.
How sweet is that?
And you can also nominate an organization. So if your church is really important to you, or you're a community group,
That's really cool.
we accept all nominations basically, as long as they're local, right? If it's an organization in Livonia or Farmington, it might not be something we add, because we want to support local nonprofits and charities and churches. So, but you can nominate your organization, or you can pick one from the list, and we will donate 1%. And, our hope is that is a differentiator for doing business with us too, and not like we're like, oh, do business with us because of this, but like, hey, if you are looking for a reason, like, what is the difference between us and another heating and cooling company? Well, hey, we can give 1% of your install back to your church, you know?
That's awesome.
And we're happy to do that. I mean, it brings me joy, I'm like, I'm always trying to promote it and spread the word and Trusted Cares. And, I feel like it's a really easy way for somebody to give back without actually donating any money out of their own pocket. Right.
That's really cool.
Well, especially in an industry where everyone's price conscious. You know, you go on so many appointments, and people are like, oh, well, what's the cost? Right? None of that other stuff even surfaces. You're just, tell me the cost of the replacement.
Right. Yes.
Right? But when you really start pulling back the onion of like, what does this company do? How are they going to service me? Like, what is the experience? Like, how do I feel when they show up? Right. And that's always the big thing. Like, I'm sure we've all had this experience where, someone comes over and they pull up in like a rankety ass, little truck. And I'm like,
what are they doing?
I don't know about this guy. Like he seems like he's not really with it.
Yeah.
But professional vehicle shows up, person in a uniform gets out, got a name tag on, they look the part, like, they're coming over. And one thing that stood out to me, and I'm in the operations side of our business as well. So like, I always pay attention to this type of stuff, getting a text message with a picture. This was really cool. Like, getting a text message with a picture of your technician that's coming over saying, hey, this is John. John's background is 15 years in HVAC. He's been with us for 5 years. He has 2 kids, and his wife, blah, 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 live in Howell. It's like, cool. I know John now.
Yeah, I like John.
Right?
John's in.
Right.
John's in the circle now.
John can pet my dog.
So welcome in. And, then it becomes that experience of like, I don't just feel like a number, right? I don't just feel like they're coming here to sell me something, and I know somebody will try to get you to replace versus just fix. And that's one thing I've referred, trusted to clients of ours, and they've come out and saved my clients thousands of dollars by saying like, look, you don't have to replace us. Just we'll fix it.
It's the
problem.
flux capacitor. We can fix it.
Definitely.
It's
It'll make
definitely
you
the
time
flux
travel.
capacitor.
Yeah.
And that's what you look for in somebody is like, do you actually trust what they're telling you, or are they just trying to sell you something? Right? I never felt like I was ever trying to get sold, and neither have my clients.
Yeah.
With Trusted.
Oh, awesome.
We have to change the name to Sort of Trusted Heating and Cooling.
Sorta.
That would be kind of tough.
They did the same thing for us, though. I mean, to that point, like they came out, and for a long time, we had a pretty old system, and it was like, hey, like you really, your system's, whatever it was, 20 years old. Like it's going to go soon, but we can make it go a little bit longer. Like just, we'll have everything written up, and when you guys are ready to make your decision, whatever. And they did. They kept it going for a couple more years because we couldn't really afford to make a move. And then when it was time to pull the trigger, they were out there in a few days, and everything was good to go. And it's been rolling since.
That was the opposite of ours. They were like, I can't leave here knowing that this unit is in this condition. You need to replace it. We'll figure out the payment later. Like, don't worry about it.
And I'm sure that happens too.
Yes. Well, sometimes it's a safety issue.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
that's the thing about furnaces. Is they can become unsafe. So
Yeah.
This is not a safety third environment. Definitely not. Jen, did we give you enough time on the business? Is there something that we missed? Is there something more that?
no, I appreciate the opportunity to talk about it.
Okay. So
Wait,
I came here not knowing what to expect.
There you
so-
go. We wing it.
Can you tell us some stories of Mark when he was younger?
Yeah. That is in the What's Up Brighton After
want
Dark.
to know.
What's Up Brighton After
After
Dark? It's the After Dark version.
That was fairly
Those
good.
are in the vault.
Those are in
okay.
the vault.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
High compensation
man.
required. Okay, so Jen is a lifetime resident of this community. She ain't like she used to be.
Ooh.
Compare and contrast for us. What's it? How's it different to you? How's it better? What are you nostalgic for? What's Brighton for Jen these days?
Well, I think there's just been obviously a ton of development and improvement. I think what I love about Brighton as it is today is, it still has that quaint downtown feel. I love the businesses downtown. I love walking on Main Street. I always loved that as a kid. I do miss the DNC store. You guys remember that? The dime store?
I do.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
You could go in and get
No, I do
candy
remember
out of the
that.
wooden bins.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that store so much. So I'm a little nostalgic for that store.
Yeah.
But I think that Brighton's done a great job of retaining that feel, that small town feel, even though it's growing exponentially. And I think that's why I still love living here. I want my kids to have that feeling versus being in a big city, right?
Yeah.
And so I love Brighton. I think it's done a great job.
Still feels like home.
It still feels like home.
Still feels like home.
Exactly. Yes.
No matter how many roundabouts we put in.
I
still
love
feels
the
like
roundabouts.
home.
You can't steer me clear,
I
Thank you.
love the roundabouts.
I'm
See,
a
Yes.
huge fan of the roundabouts.
I mean, at Michigan State, there's roundabouts like crazy. So when when they started putting them in, everyone's complaining. I'm like, no, this means no traffic lights. Like traffic isn't stopping.
Right.
Don't stop. Just
Right.
move slowly. And
once you
right through it.
understand it, or like I like to say, once you see it, you can't unsee it. You just
Right.
got to understand how to use them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
and
That's
then
it.
I have one more piece of insider baseball for Jen.
Oh boy.
Oh dear.
Jen, what's your favorite pizza place in Brighton?
Oh,
this
I
is
mean, isn't this like a loaded question?
Yes,
sort
it
of.
is.
Sort of is. There's no wrong answer,
Can
but
I-
there is a right
can I-
answer.
Can I play the fifth? No. I'm joking.
Well, you're the guy sitting across from you is on record as saying all the pizza in this area is mediocre.
Okay,
so-
well, I will say
true.
that this is
Facts.
from my heart as a youth.
Oh,
It's always been my favorite. Always was served at all the school events, all the stuff.
She's trying to give you some
It's Hungry
breadcrumbs over here.
Howie's.
I
It's Hungry
literally
Howie's.
was gonna say,
Hand
don't-
out.
Are you going to say
It's
Hungry
Hungry
Howie's?
Howie's. Come on. I mean, it's so nostalgic. Talk about nostalgia.
I mean, it is. It's just not that good.
I don't think the merchant was responsible for his whole building remodel, but Hungry Howie's building got completely remodeled. I mean, they must be selling some pizzas over there.
We're
Right?
definitely selling pizzas. Their crust is amazing, but
All right. So non-chain restaurant
Oh,
style. What would be your go-to pizza? Non-chain.
Okay, let's see. I feel like I just had a really good pizza.
We'll even let you go 3 if you need top 3. Like you don't have to plant your flag if you don't got it, but give us a couple.
Okay. I like the pear and fig pizza from Label.
Oh.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
It's a little unique, but
Yeah.
I've heard it's good.
So good.
I don't like
Yeah.
figs, so
Okay.
but
Wow.
good for you.
Yeah. It's very, very good.
Ding. Label in the mix.
Yeah, labels
All
in
right.
the mix.
Yes. And let me see if I can think of another good pizza place. I just had a good one. I can't remember where it was.
We're gonna layer in Jeopardy music underneath while Jen's deciding.
Right?
Was it a sit?
Well-
was it a sit down takeout?
Actually, it may not have been Brighton. So I'm not a huge pizza eater, and I mean, okay, so like Captain's on Main. I've never
Yes.
tried that. I've never been there.
Oh,
Okay.
But I've always wanted to, and I like
Okay.
that they sell beer. You know, you
Okay.
always have to have a pizza and beer.
They got rum runners now. You can
Oh,
get in there.
all right.
Some frozen drinks for the summer.
Maybe we should go after this podcast.
There we
Right.
go.
There we
Find
go.
out.
I was gonna suggest or we need to all still go to Shamrock. So
I do still
Yeah.
need to try.
Okay, so I've never tried their pizza. What are some other local like non?
This is proving my point. She's lived here her whole entire life.
she
That
doesn't
is
have a
proving
very
my
good
point.
But I
answer.
don't like
It is
pizza.
proving
I'm
your
not a
point.
big
There's
pizza
no
girl.
good.
It is proving
like,
your point,
yeah.
I think.
Thank you.
It is.
Thank
But
you.
I'm no
is,
good.
yeah.
I'm not a real pizza gal either.
That's all right. You proved my point.
Okay.
You're good. You're
All
off the
right.
hook. You're off the
Cool.
hook.
Yeah, you're off the hook.
All right.
Eric
great.
wins.
All right. Well, I think that's it. That's all. That's everything, right? Like, I love when we have guests. It's so much fun.
What do you guys talk about when you don't have a guest?
Guests.
Talk about you.
We talk about guests, how we want some. So if you all like this episode, please share it because Trusted Heating and Cooling would love to come out and help all of you. And now you know that you can actually help the community in the process if you choose them for all your heating and cooling needs. That you got a whole commercial out of this. This is fantastic.
It is wonderful.
Great.
Yes.
Clip that. We'll send it to you.
Yes.
This is
And actually, we just became licensed electrical contractors as
Oh.
well. I am a licensed electrical contractor in the state of Michigan.
Did not
You're
know
looking
this.
at her.
All
Oh
right.
yeah.
see.
Kinda
And we have a
Vital piece of information. I
we
feel
have a master electrician on staff.
Boom.
So
Sweet.
we are just getting into the generator business. We're a Generac dealer.
Awesome.
And we also do any electrical that you would need. So repairs, panel upgrades,
Didn't know this.
fixes. Yeah, so we can do
Going-
anything electrical.
Going vertical.
Vertical.
That's
baby.
right.
Go.
Going vertical. Plumbing's next.
There you
Oh
go.
dear.
Yes.
There you go.
Oh yes.
Venture capital will be sniffing at Jen before you know it.
They already are. Holy cow! And I keep saying no, no, no.
Not yet. Not
Yeah,
yet.
Get the
Not
funding
yet.
out of here.
I'm protecting our small
There
business.
you
That's
go.
right.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, we'll call episode 21 a success, regardless of how many listens we get, because we love getting guests. So if you would like to also join us on this show, feel free to let any of us know. We're happy to invite you in. And until next time, on behalf of everybody here at the table, this is Roger signing out.